All right, guys, we're back. So we're going to take a look at Marcus's wrist mobility first. You saw he was in that front rack position. It looked pretty good. Do we really have to go after it for him? Maybe that's not his limiting factor. Maybe there are probably a few other things. However, he's getting on his forearms and his wrist mobility anyway. So if you do have a problem with that, and I think it's fair to say if you can't get down here on the ground and get to 90 degrees pretty comfortably, you should probably do this on a regular basis. It's not only going to help you with here, it's going to help you with any of your presses. It's certainly going to help you with your push-ups. Handstand walks, forget about it. If you can't get over that, it's just not even going to happen. So all of this is going to be good. So one thing I have him doing is just taking that double across ball, mashing through here, rolling that tissue out, whether we're inhibiting it or breaking stuff up. Like I said, it doesn't really matter too much. But if he can work that tissue to kind of prep it for some of the mobility work that we're going to do, that'll be great. So always a fan of getting onto these guys, because that's the compartment that's going to limit that wrist extension is all this stuff. He can get on that. He can do the back side of it as well. And usually about a minute or so on each arm would be great. This Voodoo Floss, if you guys haven't used this, Kelly Starrett's been a big proponent of this stuff. So what we want to do is we want this to start distally and wrap proximally through all this tissue, and then we'll also have him kind of move his arm back and forth. If you're not familiar with how to use this, come ask some of our coaches or our PTs. We've all gone through the course. But if we take this, we want to wrap it pretty darn tight, and we'll take it all the way up, overlapping that band by about half or so, all the way up his arm, all the way up to the tattoos, which may or may not be applicable on everybody. And all we're trying to do is constrict this superficial layer, and hopefully we'll get him to move the deeper layers underneath it and try to restore some of those sliding surfaces to improve his wrist and elbow flexibility. And we're almost done. We'll just wrap this up here. Okay. So Marcus, go ahead and put that hand down on the ground. And can you just kind of come forward, back. I want you to rotate it inside and out. See what we can do as far as moving that thing around. Hands go nice and white. That looks great. How's that feel?
It's all right. Okay.
So we're addressing this. There are also 8 little teeny tiny bones that are in there that he's trying to mobilize all at the same time. So this should help release some of this stuff. Good. Okay, I'd say do that for about 1 to 2 minutes. Any longer than that, that hand's going to go totally white, and then it just feels weird. Usually comes back though. All right, third part, we'll take it, and we'll use this band. So we can start, if you don't have that 90 degrees and you can't bring this thing all the way over, let's have you start here. You'll get it down. And we'll get this down really low along the end part of that forearm, right before the wrist, and have you try to work back and forth that way for me. So again, if you don't have that 90 degrees or greater, this is a great place to start. You can hold that down with the opposite hand. You can rotate this in and out and just see what part's sticking and what parts are moving. Okay. The more advanced version is, Marcus, go ahead and flip that around 180 degrees. Once you switch wrists, just so it's easier on the camera. If you need to get that extra for those handstand walks and some of those other things, you can and then sit back. You can really start to overpress that wrist. Again, should be getting a big stretch along here, mobilizing this whole row of those wrist bones, those carpal bones. Okay. Same thing. I'd hang out here for about a minute or so, maybe 2. On each side. This is something that you're going to have to chip away at. If you've got any arthritis in there, old wrist injuries, this stuff gets pretty stiff. So it might take a little while, but just like anything else, consistency and time. All right, that's some of our wrist care. Go into your front rack and see if it's any better after that. And next video, we're going to start talking about shoulder positioning and all the things that can limit our ability to get into that nice high elbows position.